Hello everyone. I would like to say thank you to everyone who watched, shared, and provided feedback on my video about recommended albums for Audiophiles. To those who shared their favorite Audiophile albums, I want you all to know that it's greatly appreciated because it gave me a chance to discover more great sounding albums. I always try to get hold of these albums and give it a good listen. But there are a lot of cases where the physical media is not available or what is available is too expensive for me. Some of them I get to try through a streaming service, but I prefer to have them on CD or maybe even on vinyl. For the ones I was able to try, I would say 99% of them are indeed great, and I would like to share 10 of these albums on this video. I don't want to take credit for discovering them, and I would also like to give my personal thanks to you guys who recommended them, so I'll show your YouTube handle. So here we go in no particular order. First is Sailing Shoes by Little Feat. This is the second studio album of American rock band Little Feat with the original lineup of Lowell George, Roy Estrada, Richie Hayward, and Bill Payne, released in 1972. Lowell and Roy are former members of Frank Zappa's The Mothers of Invention. This West Coast band created their own mix of every imaginable Southern roots genre while keeping similar quirky humor of the Mothers of Invention. The album's eye-catching cover shows their oddball humor and has made it sought after by vinyl collectors. Sailing Shoes received critical praise and inspired cult following, but it was hard to classify and was hard to market on radio and record stores. One of the more popular tracks here is Willin', which was covered by other artists like Linda Ronstadt, Tom Petty, and the Black Crowes. The album I have is the 50th anniversary release by Rhino that came with a second CD that have lots of bonus material, but the best part is the live show, recorded in August 1971 at the Palladium in Los Angeles, a rare live capture of the original Little Feat at their best. The vocals of Lowell George on the main CD is very clear, and separation of instruments on the tracks are very good. Next is A Farewell to Kings by Rush. This is the fifth studio album by Canadian rock band Rush, released in August 1977. Rush fans say this album is their peak and is considered their best album. It was recorded at Rockfield Studios in Wales and mixed at Ad Vision Studios in London. The birds heard on A Farewell to Wings and Xanadu were recorded outside near Rockfield Studios. Rush's first studio album after 2112's breakthrough found the band juggling various aspects of their sound. Neil Peart added a plethora of bells and percussion to his drum kit. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson used pedal synths, and the singer also took charge of a mini-moog. Tracks Closer to the Heart and Madrigal were their first sub-3-minute recordings in years. The track Xanadu have Rush adding the synthesizers that over the next few years they will use more and more. The other tracks featured instruments as analog as bells, acoustic guitar, and wind chimes. It was Rush's first US gold-selling album within 2 months of its release and eventually went platinum, and the band was happy with how it turned out. Geddy recalled in 1978, "It's the only one of our albums, apart from 2112, that I can really live with. I've yet to look at it and start finding fault with it, pick it apart, and it still sounds so positive." Next is A Deeper Understanding by War on Drugs. This is the fourth studio album by American indie band The War on Drugs, released in August 2017. Singer and songwriter Adam Granduciel plays roughly half the instruments on the album in addition to producing and engineering it. A lot of people say Adam Granduciel sounds like Bruce Springsteen because of his husky expressive vocals. The sound of this album I can describe as lush and intricately layered with instruments. The arrangements throughout are great. The synths have that extra sparkle, the bass has a bit more punch, and songs are intricately layered with instruments. The layers of keyboards give the music a dreamier quality. The songs are introspective and melancholic, as they are about loneliness and alienation. This is no stadium or arena or sing-along anthem. The album's first single, Thinking of a Place, is a perfect introduction to this album as it's about thinking of a place where you can lose yourself. Reviewers describe this album as mid-80s rock made by baby boomers with synthesizers. But give it a good listen and you will appreciate the arrangement and mix of this album. This is the kind of music that will benefit from an articulate sound system. Next is Computer World by Kraftwerk. This is the 8th studio album by German electronic band Kraftwerk, released on May 1981. Kraftwerk is a German electronic band formed in Düsseldorf in 1970 by Ralf Hutter and Florian Schneider, widely considered innovators and pioneers of electronic music. Kraftwerk was among the first successful acts to popularize the genre and influenced the likes of Depeche Mode, New Order, The Chemical Brothers, Daft Punk, Coldplay, and LCD Sound System. Computer World by Kraftwerk was recorded at their private Kling Klang studio in Düsseldorf, Germany between 1978 and 1981. Music reviewers consider this the last great Kraftwerk album. The overall sound of this album is brighter and cleaner sounding compared to their earlier release like Trans-Europe Express. The opening track, Computer World, established the record's themes of technological dependence with its catchy three-note melody and insistent punchy beat that sounded like entering data on a keyboard. My favorite track is Computer Love, sampled by Coldplay on their 2005 hit single, Talk. The track has a haunting melody about the anxiety of loneliness, despite being surrounded by technology that enables instant remote communication. Next is Songbook by Chris Cornell. This is an acoustic live album by American musician and vocalist Chris Cornell, released in November 2011. Although Chris Cornell was the frontman of rock bands Soundgarden, Audioslave, and Temple of the Dog, Songbook is a true solo album. Chris has one of the most familiar voices in rock music and known for his powerful vocals and impressive range. The album was recorded live with Chris and his acoustic guitar alone on stage across various venues in the United States and Canada during his 2011 acoustic tour. This tour impressed audiences and critics with the intimately set performances, and some of the best renditions are what is featured on this album. The track list is comprised of songs throughout Chris' extensive career, including songs with Soundgarden, Audioslave, and Temple of the Dog. He also covered two iconic tracks, which I enjoyed a lot: Led Zeppelin's Thank You and John Lennon's Imagine. These classic songs sound new and this album sounds fantastic. The stripped-down sound let Chris' soulful vocals be the focus. His emotive voice sounds crystal clear. Each strum of the strings resonates on the intimate vibe of the venue. So even though he is best known for loud rock numbers, Cornell's talents shined best on this album. Next is Little Earthquakes by Tori Amos. This is the debut solo album by American singer-songwriter Tori Amos. She is a classically trained pianist and has been playing at piano bars in Washington, D.C. for years before the success of this album. Little Earthquakes was finally released in early 1992, right when Nirvana's Nevermind topped the charts. It came out at the height of grunge era when rock music is raw and brutal. So this record is unlike anything released in that era. This album is an intimate piano-driven record. The songs are personal and explore dark themes. The biggest hit on this album is Silent All These Years, which tells the story of an abusive relationship. This track focuses on Tori's amazing piano and keyboard work that will become synonymous with her music. She is also a top-notch vocalist. Her voice throughout the album is very expressive and her intonation is spot on. She delivers intensely emotional songs in a quiet but very dynamic way that is a rewarding experience to listen in a good hi-fi system. Next is Shangri-La by Mark Knopfler. This is the fourth solo studio album by British singer-songwriter and guitarist Mark Knopfler, released in September 2004. Shangri-La was recorded at Shangri-La Studios in Malibu, California. Mark Knopfler was in Belgravia, London for a tour to promote his previous album, The Rag Picker's Dream, when he was involved in a motorbike crash that left him seriously injured with a broken collarbone, broken shoulder blade, and broken ribs. He put the tour on hold and was away from his guitar for 7 months, but once he was able to play, he went back to studio and the result was this album. A lot of the tracks is inspired by famous person. Boom Like That by Ray Kroc, Back to Tupelo about Elvis Presley, Donegan's Gone about Lonnie Donegan, and Song for Sonny Liston. The tracks are full of melodic riffs and Dylan-esque vocals that have been his trademark since his Dire Straits days. There are no upbeat or catchy hooks here. The 14 tracks are gentle slow burners. A lot of reviewers say that this album is the most melodic, tasteful, laid-back yet wholly engrossing tunes of his solo career. It's that combination of his vocals and wonderful guitar playing that needs to be heard clearly on a good system. Next is Glassworks by Philip Glass. Philip Glass is an American composer and pianist widely regarded as one of the most influential composers of the late 20th century and an icon of modern classical music. Glassworks ranks among his best-known releases. It was his first major success and considered by many as his magnum opus. Philip Glass set out to create a piece that could be listened to through a Walkman. The LP and cassette was released in 1982 and each have their own separate mix. The record was intended for home listening, while the tape is for personal cassette players. Philip wanted to create more pop-oriented Walkman-suitable work with shorter and more accessible pieces written for the recording studio. There is only 6 tracks here, but can mesmerize the listener with the minimalist and hypnotic piano notes and unusual song progressions. These 6 tracks were intentionally split up into 2 each in terms of vibe to create unique sounds that merge together to become one wonderful experience. If you're just getting into this genre, Philip Glass is one of the first artists that you can explore because despite his minimalist style, he extracts the maximum amount of emotion and feeling out of the listener with his lush soundscapes. Next is Animals by Pink Floyd. This is the 10th studio album by the legendary English rock band Pink Floyd, released in January 1977. It was produced by the band and recorded at their new studio, Britannia Row Studios in London throughout 1976. As it had a bad luck of following Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here and preceded The Wall, this record sometimes gets lost in the discussion of the band's best albums. It initially received mixed reviews, but gained more favorable reviews in later years and is now considered by many to be one of Pink Floyd's greatest albums. This is a concept album about social and political conditions on mid-70s Britain. 3 of the songs here are too long to be radio-friendly, while the 2 acoustic tracks were too short to be played on the radio. The songs are full of Roger Waters' politically charged anger and his views on wealth, power, oppression, and capitalistic corruption. The epic centerpiece of the album is Dogs, about society's predators. The production of this album is fantastic and the music is timeless. And last but not the least is In Rainbows by Radiohead. This is the 7th studio album by English rock band Radiohead. Radiohead released it themselves in October 2007 as an internet download and then released internationally on December 2007. It was recorded in several locations across the United Kingdom, including country houses like Halswell House and Tottenham House, the band's studio in Oxfordshire, and the Hospital Club in London. It's number 336 in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums list in 2012. In Rainbows is a different kind of Radiohead record compared to their previous releases, but fans loved it. This is Radiohead at their absolute peak and nothing left to prove. They went away from their Kid A era experimentation and made an uncomplicated album. Radiohead also felt that Hail to the Thief was overlong and wanted this album to be concise. A lot of audiophiles appreciate this album because of the sonic fidelity and vivid sound textures. It is considered one of the best produced, recorded, and mixed album ever as Radiohead worked again with record producer and recording engineer Nigel Godrich. The excellent production makes this album a great all-around test track. And that's the 10 best sounding albums recommended by you, and I would also like to share to more music lovers through this video. If your recommendation did not make it on this video, it's probably going to be featured in the future. I just did not get the chance to try it out yet, or the album you recommended might not be easily available at this time, or it might be too expensive for me at this time. Thank you again for supporting my channel and for sharing your favorites. Please continue recommending great sounding albums, and happy listening.